everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tangent TV. My name is Joseph Lanzalata, and today I have with us the amazing Breandán Goss. Breandán is the manager of the European Accelerator programs at Tangent, Trinity's Ideas Workspace. So welcome, Breandán. Thanks for coming on.
Joe, it's a pleasure and a privilege. And can I just say, my mother is a great fan.
Amazing. Well, we're so happy to have you on for the first episode of our series on bringing Tangent digital. So this is a unique series where we're actually interviewing ourselves and kind of bringing to the world how we've been operating within the digital space that we now need to operate given the COVID-19 situation. But to start us out, Brenda, maybe just for anybody who doesn't already know you deeply, we can introduce yourself a bit. Tell us a bit about how you became the European Accelerator program manager for Tangent.
I'm not sure how many people know me truly deeply, Joe. I'm not even sure I go that deep myself, but to give you a little bit of background, a bit of context, I run to all intents and purposes, the accelerator initiatives that are funded by the EIT community in Trinity College. Trinity College is a core partner of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which is a vehicle set up under Horizon 2020 funding across the European Union. So as a core member, we partner up with fellow universities and fellow industry partners and run initiatives, specifically in this case, to help develop entrepreneurship skills, not just across the student population, but also across the kind of startup ecosystem that pertains locally in Ireland in this instance. So we've been doing that for the last couple of years through Tangent and Trinity College. And I joined the Tangent team just over a year and a half ago or so. And we've put into place a very nice bit of business model in terms of our stamping our authority, if you like, on one of these programs, in terms of our outreach to the startup community. I think, from the point of view of reputation, we've worked with a lot of very, very impressive companies that have gone on to do great things, even in the short term that we've been directly involved. So yeah, it's fun and challenging, but really, really interesting, and it's something that we can learn a lot from in terms of the passion that we generate with startups themselves, and it rubs off, I think, on ourselves as a team.
Absolutely, and I think we'll go a bit deeper in a minute, just into kind of the specific accelerators and kind of how that all operates. But for you yourself, how did you get an interest and come about the entrepreneurship and accelerator world?
I've been involved at different levels, either across European policy or fundraising or investment, and also I have my own entrepreneurial kind of background, if you like. So this role was the perfect kind of conjunction of three professional experiences that stem back over 20 years plus. I would have spent a number of years working for the European Commission in Brussels back in the last century, the 1990s. I ran my own business for 10 years in the film and TV space as a producer. And for the last 10 years then, subsequent to that, I've been working with startups, helping startups develop, actually more than 10 years, probably 12, 13 years, helping startups with fundraising and helping them with their strategies and their development strategies, if you like, the corporate strategies. So the role of Trinity at the moment is a nice, I suppose, it's very complementary to what my experience has been to date. And it represents nicely, what it is I love doing across those particular experiences so far in my career.
I suppose in many ways it was a natural next step for you to kind of come in, and now you're managing the accelerators and things. And I'm excited. Full disclosure, I work on the same team with Breandán, everybody, so I'm excited to be able to share a lot of the experiences and things that he's working on. The one in particular, and the thing that kind of in recent weeks we've had to kind of bring to the digital space, has been this Climate KIC Accelerator. So to intro people who may not know necessarily, you spoke a bit about the EIT community. Maybe you can give us a bit of context just from the EIT community, how the KICs and specifically the Climate KIC then fits within that.
Yeah, true to form with European funding, there are lots of acronyms that are bandied about. So EIT, as I said, European Institute of Innovation and Technology, it's kind of a virtual institute, if you like. It's more of a special purpose vehicle that channels funding through what are termed KICs, knowledge innovation communities specifically. And those knowledge innovation communities apply to the health industry across Europe or the climate change and climate action activities across Europe. There are also other activities around raw materials, for example, and also food. But Trinity College is most actively involved, if you like, in the climate and health spheres. So these communities, these KICs, are points of collaboration between industry, research, and academia. And they provide opportunities and funding for institutions and private concerns to come together and generate new innovative solutions and products or services, which ultimately will benefit the population of the European Union. So the Climate KIC one specifically, as it says on the tin, is all about creating an environment of innovation within the sustainability space. It's looking at disruptive innovations and solutions that both public and private spheres can develop and generate. So it provides funding across a number of different types of initiatives, one of which is an accelerator initiative specifically for the startup community, if you like. And so in that respect, Trinity has run for the last year and this year directly, has run the Climate KIC Accelerator, comprising largely of companies from Ireland, but also a couple of companies from the UK sometimes participate. And the Accelerator program really is a kind of a bespoke program run over a number of different phases or stages in a calendar year. And at the beginning of each year, we put out a call for action to get expressions of interest from startups who want to participate in the program. Our 3 stages are comprised of an initial kind of 4 to 6 week induction process. Each of the teams are evaluated at the end of each stage, and a smaller number then of companies with greater commercial potential are led into the following stage. And at the end of it, for the final stage, we work with a kind of a distilled number of startups who are probably a little bit more advanced in terms of their commercial positioning and strategy and the evolution of their product or solution. So what we do is we harness the kind of KIC knowledge and expertise that pertains across Europe, ally then to the knowledge within the institutional knowledge, if you like, within Trinity College, and also our own kind of networks, professional networks. And we bring together all of those insights into helping accelerate the commercial development of those startup companies. So that's Climate KIC, if you like. And at the moment, for 2020, we've just begun stage 2 of our 2020 program. So stage 1 was completed just over a week or so ago.
Yep.
So we had 18 teams, 18 startups involved. And that number was distilled down to 11. So there are currently 11 participants in stage 2, and they'll work with us over the next 2 months or so in terms of finessing their value proposition and just helping them to position themselves for the next stage of their own growth, both organically, but also, in terms of enabling them to go to the market to potentially to seek investment from private or public or institutional investment sources.
Okay.
What we do is we try to ensure that they become investor ready, amongst other things, as part of this program.
Okay.
So that's, I guess in a nutshell, that might help to synthesize what the Accelerator program does.
Absolutely.
For Climate KIC. Yeah.
So, absolutely. So you had mentioned that Climate KIC is running this year. How long has the Climate KIC program been running at Trinity, specifically within Tangent, since you've started, or how long has it been running?
Yeah, this is the second year now that Trinity has run the Climate KIC in the Accelerator program. It has